Is the motion seconded? The Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. I rise to second the motion. And of course, Mr Speaker, the government has continuing confidence in you as the Speaker of this Parliament. It's not an easy job. It's definitely not an easy job in contested political circumstances to deal with all of the things that come before you in this Parliament. I understand that, and the government understands that, and the government understands that you make the best judgment calls you can at the time. I thank the Leader of the Opposition for moving this motion, and I am very pleased to second it. Can I say this, though, Mr Speaker? We understand that there is a continuing obligation on members of this House, a continuing obligation not just to support this motion, but to support your rulings as they are delivered to this Parliament. That is an obligation that we will acquit on the government side. Can I say to you, Mr Speaker, I do believe you should take the combined view of me and the Leader of the Opposition on this occasion. I understand the precedents that have borne down on these things in the past, but this is a different circumstance, and I believe in this different circumstance, having heard from me and the Leader of the Opposition, you should act differently to speakers in the past. You should acknowledge that the House has made a decision on this occasion, but that should be the end of it. But I would say this to members of the House who are now presumably behind the Leader of the Opposition and in the exercise of their own independent judgment about to support this confidence motion in you, that the reality is on future occasions not to find ourselves in this position when we are called on to back your judgment in on a matter such as a naming, then the obligation falls on us to do so. Mr Speaker, that is not something that should be second-guessed if people are going to have confidence in the Speaker. The government in its conduct today has shown full confidence in you by backing your judgment on the naming, and of course we back this motion now. And my words now, Mr Speaker, are not directed to you, but they are directed to the opposition. To provide continuing confidence in the Speaker, you need to provide continuing confidence in the Speaker's rulings. Mr Speaker, in terms of the vote that we've just had, as I think was very evident by my conduct at the dispatch box, I didn't hear you even name someone. The noise was so great. I am not able to say, standing at this dispatch box, what you named them for. I couldn't hear that either because the level of noise was so great. But of course I exercised my vote and the government exercised its vote the way that we did, because to provide confidence to the Speaker requires providing confidence in individual rulings of the Speaker, and whether or not we're in a position to judge as individuals the circumstances of any individual ruling, we provided that confidence. That is the attitude that the government will continue to take to providing confidence in you, and I would ask members of the opposition to reflect on that for the future. As for today, Mr Speaker, we are where we are, and the Leader of the Opposition has taken the appropriate action given the way in which the opposition has cast its votes. In those circumstances, I think the Leader of the Opposition has done the right thing, which is why I am prepared to second the resolution to confirm to you that the government has complete confidence in you continuing, and I believe, having heard from both me and the Leader of the Opposition, you should accept that display of confidence in the full exercise of your good judgment on this matter.
Order. The question is the motion moved by the Leader of the Opposition be agreed to. The member for Lyne.
Speaker, and I know there's a great deal of interest in this particular parliament, in 6 particular members of this parliament, and in light of that, it is worth putting on the record the support in the full confidence of your continuing role in the chair as Speaker. And it is important in this parliament to, I think, have some reflection and backing up the words of the previous Speaker, the Prime Minister, in consideration of the place that naming has in the full life of the 43rd Parliament. Because the position that I just took, for example, is not without precedent. It's the same position I have taken before in regards naming, and that is, where possible, in my view, to defend a private member's rights within this chamber. You will see that consistently in regards issues such as the gag, in the full range of issues in regards the rights of private members in this chamber. And if I don't hear or see a particular issue that leads to a member being named, then I would have difficulty doing anything else other than defending those members' rights. So my position is not without precedent, but I don't think it then necessarily takes the next step in this 43rd Parliament, which is incredibly tight, of leading to a lack of confidence in your position as Speaker of this chamber. So I appreciate the motion being moved. I think it is appropriate that we do clarify this, and I would hope as a consequence of that we do see the House today once again express full confidence in your ongoing role as Speaker in this chamber.
Order. The question is that the motion moved by the Leader of the Opposition be agreed to. All those of that opinion say aye. Aye. Contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. I thank the House. Prime Minister.
I think, Mr Speaker, it might be an appropriate opportunity to ask that further questions be placed on the notice paper.
Order. 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 The question has been asked. Order. 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 Order.
It is our privilege to give you this opportunity of listening for 20 minutes to the Right Honourable Stanley Baldwin MP.
No people grumble more than we do. I do myself every day. But though I grumble, I do not worry, and I keep cheerful. And the more difficult times are, the more cheerful we become.
The member for Patterson. Order. Order.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. I refer the Prime Minister to a letter from the New South Wales Premier, Barry O'Farrell, raising concerns that the imposition of a carbon tax will destroy $5 billion in the value of New South Wales power generation assets and cause the loss of 13,000 jobs and $1.2 billion in economic activity in the Hunter region. How will the government compensate the people of the Hunter when they lose their jobs and all of New South Wales when power supplies are placed at risk? And, Mr Speaker, to show there can be no misrepresentation, I seek leave to table the letter from Premier Barry O'Farrell.
Is leave granted? Leave is not granted. Order. Order. The question has been asked. Order. 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 Order.